Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a pure evil or broken video for the Destiny villains. There are some villains on this pre-questionnaire that I couldn't get rid of, and also I've added two more, so instead of just pure evil and broken, I made it so that it's just evil, so it's like they're kind of between. The broken's are kind of between, and then there's very broken, which is maybe completely broken, but very broken kind of works. It couldn't fit. But anyway, we have. Okay, must work. So we have Axis, Prime, Arkham Prime, Crota, Callus, Callus from Lightfall, and then Callus from Vanilla Destiny, Eramus, Gull, Oryx, Panoptes, Rolk, Riven, Seraphon, Skolas, Tanix, Witness, Aldrin, and Zol. So we'll start from the beginning, which is Axis. So he was the villain of Rise of Iron's raid, Scourge of not Scourge of the Past. That's the raid that might be coming back next season in Destiny. He was the raid of. He was the boss of the Wrath Machine raid in Rise of Iron. See, I don't remember much of him from the lore, because I was not very much into the lore around that point. But from what I got from him, he was a pretty evil guy. But I'm not sure if his intentions were so evil, because I'm pretty sure he was evil, but to the point that he was only doing it for the sake of his race's future, or if he was straight up doing it for malicious purposes. So I'm going to put him in evil. Then Crota. This is pretty easy. He's a hive god. He was the raid boss of Crota's End, funny enough, and he's done several things to try and appease his father. He also let the Vex into his father's throne world, and killed billions of guardians or thousands of guardians with his sword. So I'm going to put him in the pure evil tab. Then Callus from Lightfall. Interesting, these are split. But I'm gonna go for Callus from Lightfall purely because the other one was much more. I'll get to him when he gets them, okay? But this Lightfall version of him, he's not as evil. He just wants to have pleasure, and the only reason he's evil really is because the Witness is pushed him towards it. So I'm gonna say just evil. Yeah, I won't say he's broken. Because I would say there's characters that are more broken than him by tenfold, but he's definitely not pure evil. Then Callus from the Leviathan back in Vanilla Destiny 2. He was very much more of a chill guy. He was being very nice to us, but again, I don't think he was broken. But he was definitely not pure evil, so I'm gonna put him alongside his Lightfall counterpart. Then Eramus. She was pushed towards the darkness because of her, well, the collapse, and it broke her. So it's already a choice between a broken and very broken. But still the choice is she lost her partner and everything at the loyal ones. I was gonna say very broken because it pushed her towards darkness. Okay, Gull. He was the villain of the original Vanilla Destiny 2 campaign. I would say because if I remember the lore correctly, he was a slave, or because he was a certain species or an albino, so that he was cast out, and then he was picked up by someone else who then raised him up and made him a gladiator that got the Callus' attention, and that basically led him to be where he was now. I would say he's evil, but also I'd say he's broken because of his origin of being cast out. I would say he's very broken like Eramus, but he's definitely in a state that's definitely a lot more, what's the word? A lot more empathy for him than say Callus or Axis. Okay, so now Oryx the Tin King. He's an interesting one because I remember in the lore, like a lore video I saw, he was once he was like once gonna do a nice thing to a species when he was like with the worms, but then he was killed for that, and then he became like fully like evil. I think I'm gonna judge him for most of his big feats, and yeah, he's definitely pure evil. It's interesting because he definitely had the most turn, if that makes sense, because he was the, like, at least when they first got the worms, he was the one who was not that thing with the sword logic, and then when he died, he was very over the sword logic, and then became very off the deep end. Anyway, Panoptes from Curse of Osiris. Don't really explain it. He's just pure evil. His whole existence was meant for just to make a perfect timeline for the Vex to destroy, or to make it so the sun's dead and everything in the universe, our solar system is dead. So there can't be any brokenness in him. Rolk. I'm gonna call him pure evil, purely because I don't know too much about him, but what I do know about him, he did subject the worm god's mother in submission for the upended, or so basically the other worms to follow the way of the sword, which got the hive gods. Unfortunately, because I've not really looked much into his past, I'm not sure if his origin was based off tragedy or someone pushed him that way, or he just found the witness found him one day and he just joined them. I'm not sure. Riven. Riven, I would Riven's a hard one. She's definitely evil. I wouldn't say she's broken. Even though she is the last of her kind, because all the other ones were hunted to extinction. But I wouldn't call her pure evil, but purely because she was doing the will of someone else. She was doing the will, I'm pretty sure. I think partly her will was still her own, but for the most part, she was taking the rules from Savathûn. Basically making the last wish, which basically made the whole Dreaming City in like a loop. So yeah, I would say evil, but not pure evil, because it was not her whims of doing it. Anyway, moving on to Savathûn, who I would say she's broken, purely because she was the one who was lied to the most when they became the Hive Gods, but also she's the only one out of the three of them that really found out in Witch Queen, the DLC. So she was probably the most broken of them. I would say she's very broken like Eramis, but she's definitely not on the same playing field as Zero Rav Oryx, because they didn't know and still don't know for Zero Rav's part, and also she was the one who guided them into the war in the first place. So she was the one who was manipulated the most, and then when she found out, she genuinely broke. Like she broke into anger. So I think she probably would have been evil because she did join the light, and she did also protect the Traveler. So initially she was in there, then when she joined the light, and then when she found out about the past, then I'd say her puts unbroken. Skolas. As much as I like him, I don't know much about his past, so I'm just gonna have to call him evil. He could have like a really tragic past like Eramis, but I just don't know enough about him. Anyway, Taniks. What? Do I really need to explain why he is pure evil? He's like the William Afton of Destiny 2. He always comes back. Along with Kel'Garath, he always comes back. But luckily, I think the last time he came back was in Beyond Light in the raid. So I think that finally killed him off. But you never know, he might come back. Yeah, he was an outlaw, he just killed people. He'd never really followed a ban, which means he never really followed a code. So it means he kind of just did everything because he just kind of enjoyed it. Unless there was another serial motive that I've not seen. Yeah. Okay, so Witness. I'm waiting to see in like in final shape. It turns out his motive was not like completely malevolent. It could have been like somewhat like, oh yeah, like a bit like Faust saying, oh, I was only gonna do something which only affected half the universe or whatever. But until then, pure evil. He is done nothing to suggest that he's a good person. He lied. He subjected the worm gods to follow him. Then he got the worm gods to subject all the hive, and pretty much put them in an endless blood tithe for thousands of years. He's basically everything that's a bit bad that's happened to us, basically, apart from maybe some Seraphon's machinations because she was working on her own thing. He's kind of pulled somewhat of a string behind that. Maybe not this, apart from Skolos, because I'm pretty sure he was something to do with the 9 when he broke through. But everything else, he's kind of had his own finger in each pie. Apart from some of the things Seraphon was doing, because she was also planning to undermine him. Anyway, Alduin. I would say he was very broken, because I'm not classing him as the Crow or anything like his past, but we're talking about him from Forsaken, where he lost his sister, and to the point that he was seeing his sister as a hallucination again, as probably as the wish she did probably did that to him, but also you could put it down to him being so broken that he's lost his sister that he was doing anything to bring her back. Thus, the fact he made a wish for a fallen captain suggests he's not completely evil, and he has some sympathetic side to him. Yeah, I was mostly the visual he's very broken because the things he did, he said it in the end of Forsaken, everything he did was for her, for his sister. Unfortunately, he wasn't working for his sister, he was only working for, you know, Riven. Anyway, ending on a low note, Xol. Yeah, he's, despite being enslaved by Rhulk, or like being controlled by Rhulk, he's pure evil. He wants to destroy the Wartsats. He had his own hive that were kind of against, because they were with heretical and necromancy, which I'm pretty sure the Witness isn't too happy with, or the other worm gods, so he was working his own agenda as well, and he wasn't a very good person, so I put him there. Okay, so this is my pure evil or broken tier list. I might do a couple of shorts just summarizing these, as I might add some more like Zero Wrath from what we know, or maybe even add some good characters like Rasputin. But anyway, this is it. If you liked this video, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now. Bye.